Hi everyone! Happy New Year! 2021. We are in the first week of January. Now, most people on December 31st would have made New Year's resolutions. Some of you have been really good with them. Some of you threw the towel in a couple of days ago. And some of you are so sick and tired of New Year's resolutions, you didn't even set one. New Year's resolutions, they come around. We want to change something about ourselves that society has told us we need to change. Society has said we need to quit smoking. Society has said we need to stop drinking less. Society has said that we need to lose weight. But my question to you is, if you could seriously put your head down, your bum up, and really work at making something happen, really manifest something into reality, what would you actually want to take from your dreams and pull into reality? Do you really want to lose weight? Do you really want to change how you look? Or is there something else that you want to pursue? Do you really want the job promotion in your current career ladder? Or do you want to pursue a different career? Do you want to buy a bigger house, or do you actually want to downsize? Do you want to travel overseas, or you actually want a caravan around your own country? I want you to think about your real dreams. Not the dreams that other people have imposed on you. Not the dreams that people want you to pursue so they can live vicariously through you, but your real dreams. The things you really want to pursue, the things you really want to make happen. Whether that's acting, dancing, singing, working and traveling, teaching, being a nanny. I want you to really have a look at the things that are on your back burner. Opportunities that keep presenting themselves to you and you keep saying no. Not right now. No. Maybe in 6 months. Maybe a year. You keep making up excuses to keep those things on the back burner. I want you to ask yourself why. Why are they on the back burner? Do you think you don't have the time? Do you honestly think you don't have the money? Do you truly believe you don't have the skills? Do you truly believe you're not capable? Do you truly believe that what you're doing right now is the best you can do? Do you truly accept that it ain't getting any better than what it is right now? Now, for some of you listening, your life is awesome. But for some of you, you're lying to yourself. And my question to you is, why are you lying to yourself? Why are you allowing someone else's money worries to be your money worries? Why are you allowing someone else's money fears to be your money fears? Why are you allowing someone else to decide how you live your life, what you pursue, and what you don't pursue? Now, for some of you, something happened in your childhood that you don't even realize is the catalyst for all your behavior. I was listening to a podcast today, and the woman that was being interviewed shared that when she was 4 years old, she heard the conversation of the day that she was born. And she shared how she was born in the 70s and the men weren't allowed in the delivery room, and her dad was chain smoking in the waiting room. And after 30 hours of labor, the doctor came out and said, "Congratulations, you have a daughter." And this dad was so intent on having a son that he jokingly said to the doctor, "You can keep her. I don't want her." And this woman, as a 4-year-old, heard that story, and not hearing or understanding the tone, not hearing or understanding that her dad was joking, took what was said as honest truth and her dad's thoughts, feelings, and opinions of her. So she spent her whole life being perfect. She spent her whole life hating women because her mum wasn't there for her. She spent her whole life trying to prove herself to men, trying to prove that she was just as good as a guy, if not better than a guy. She was in this constant state of turmoil. And if she thinks back on every decision she's ever made, it all comes back to that day when her 4-year-old self heard that her dad didn't want her, that she was the wrong gender. But as a 4-year-old, as I said, she didn't hear the tone. She didn't understand that it was joking and that her dad actually really did love her. So there might be something that you heard or something that you experienced as a child, and you're allowing that to decide how you live every day. You might have seen your mum model a certain behavior, and you're unintentionally following in her footsteps because that's all that was modeled to you as a child. You might be following your dad's behaviors because that's all you experienced, or your dad wasn't around, so you're craving your dad's approval. Now, for some of you, your mum has passed away. For some of you, your dad has passed away. So for some of you, you have unresolved feelings. For some of you, you don't have closure on events that happened when you were a child. So there are a number of activities that are best done one-on-one to really give you a breakthrough, to really, with your mind, go back to that point when trauma or bad habits or things that hold you back started to weave their way into your life. Now, last year was, pitted as the big year. It was the start of a new decade. Everyone was like, 2020 is going to be my year. And COVID happened. Now, for some of you, COVID has changed your life. COVID got you stood down and you're in a new career. And you don't have your job to go back to. Your job doesn't exist. Your previous employer has restructured their business that your job is redundant. Your job doesn't exist. And for some of you, COVID destroyed your industry so badly that for some of you, your industry doesn't even exist anymore. Or it's going to take a really long time for your industry to even bounce back. So some of you have had to learn new skills and you've had to live by a new timetable. Some of you have had to get up early. Some of you have had to stay up late. Some of you have had to sleep at crazy hours. Some of you have gone from a full-time job to a part-time job. Hey, Catherine. So I understand 2020 screwed up a lot of people's lives. It changed a lot of people's lives, myself included. But for a lot of people, 2020 made you realize that you hated that job and you're actually really happy that you don't have that job to go back to. And the career that you're in now is actually really fun. That's all right, Catherine. You can always jump on the replay. And for some of you, you actually love your new job more than your old job. And you actually wouldn't even go back to your old job, even if it was offered to you. For some of you who own bricks and mortar businesses, you've changed your whole operating model and you actually had a really profitable year. And it's actually made you reassess the entire way that you run and operate your business. So 2021 is about taking the lessons from 2020 and making this year even better. Now, I know there's lots of memes going around. Don't tout 2021 as your year. Like, let's go into it gently. However, when you hold back, when you're meek and you're mild, that can cause you to stay stuck. It can cause you to not take action. So at the start of last year, I did a 90-day program, and on day one, we were asked to find our word for the year. One word that if someone was to ask you, what is this year about for you? You could say one word, and that covered everything. That explained everything. And last year, for me, it was consistency. And there were a lot of areas of my life that I did become incredibly consistent, and I've brought that habit into this year. Now, this year, I decided that my word is action. So, as a network marketer, someone who is doing market stalls of a weekend, someone who is using social media, I am going to be showing up more and more and more. I want to be providing incredible value, and I want to be providing incredible content, and I want to be accountable. I want to share my health and wellness journey with you, and I am so grateful and so appreciative for every bit of support and encouragement and motivation that I receive as I keep you updated with my skin transformation, with my body transformation, with developing new habits, with crushing bad habits, and really becoming the best version of myself and really manifesting my dreams into reality. So for me, 2021 is definitely, the word for me is action. So I really want you to think about what you want 2021 to look like for you. Think about a word that describes what you want to get out of 2021, what you want to achieve in 2021. Maybe you want space. Maybe you want transformation. Maybe you want impact. Maybe you want action. Maybe you want consistency. Maybe determination. Accomplishment. There are so many words that you can choose to define what you want this year to look like. And each year it can be a different word. As I said, last year was consistency. This year is action. So the reason why I titled tonight, do you want to stay on the hamster wheel or do you actually want to change your life, is the definition of insanity is doing the same thing again and again and again, hoping to get a different result. The definition of transformation is do something different. You'll get a different result. So staying on the hamster wheel means you're going to keep doing what you've always done and you're going to keep not getting anywhere. You're going to keep being frustrated and annoyed and angry and not knowing what's going wrong and not getting anywhere, and you're going to be okay with that. Or you're ready to get off the hamster wheel. You're ready for things to change. You're ready to do things differently. You're ready to act differently. You're ready to behave differently. You're ready to think and feel and experience life differently. Now, for some of you, major things are going to happen. For some of you, minor things are going to happen. For some of you, you were engaged last year, so you're getting married this year. For some of you, you were pregnant last year, you're having a baby this year. For some of you, you planned to do travel last year and you're going to travel this year. So I want you to be COVID safe, but I want you to seriously start thinking about how 2021 can be different to all the other years before. How can you earn more money this year? How can you work smarter and not harder this year? How can you have more time with your partner? Be more intimate with your partner? How can you have more time for your children or more time for your siblings or for your friends? How can you have the work-life balance where you love work, you love life, work has its time in your life and your friends, hey Joanne, and your friends and family get your attention too? What's going to change this year? What are you going to do differently? Some of you, you're going to try a number of diets and you're going to fail because you're doing the same thing you always do. When it comes to, I want to lose weight, I want to eat better, you need to find a program that's not a diet. It's a lifestyle. It's something that you're going to start and you're never going to stop. It's like when a person becomes a vegan, they stop eating animal products and animal byproducts, and they never go back to eating animal byproducts and they never go back to eating animal products. And I know that's an extreme example, but it's a real life example. So you need to decide that you are going to have breakfast and it's option A, B, C, D, and have a rotating menu that, you know, absolutely, Joanne, it has to be a lifestyle choice. So when it comes to breakfast, morning tea, lunch, afternoon tea, dinner, there's got to be variety and it's got to be exciting. It's got to be easy and it's got to be affordable. And everyone is different because there's allergies and there's intolerances and there's cultural beliefs, there's religious beliefs, there's personal beliefs. So when it comes to a lifestyle, you might adopt some core foundations of a couple of different lifestyle approaches and bring them together to create your individual lifestyle approach. And that's why I'm doing the Noom program. It's really interesting seeing what foods are considered green foods that you can, eat a lot of. What foods are yellow foods that you need to start being mindful of the portions, and what foods are red foods that you need to be really mindful of the portions. It's really interesting. It's also really interesting thinking about all the different diets, all the different lifestyle approaches out there, and all of the different scientific research that has gone into weight loss and health and wellness and well-being. And that's why diets don't work, because they're trying to be a one-size-fits-all. And you are a beautiful, unique individual. And you need certain things from all different areas to come together. So I don't want you to try and fit yourself into a little box of, because it won't work. I want you to have a look at all the different lifestyle approaches. Have a look at the philosophy of, veganism. You don't have to be a vegan all the time. You might choose to have meat-free Mondays or meat-free Fridays. You might choose to become a pescatarian. So you stop eating meat, but you eat seafood and vegetables. So you might be inspired by the Mediterranean diet and you take some of those principles. You might be inspired by intermittent fasting and you might have, 5 or 6 fueling days and you have 1 or 2 fasting days. But I don't want you to think, I have to just do this little diet here and I have to follow these rules. I want you to create your lifestyle approach. Take the inspiration that feels right for you and create your system. The same with your health and wellness. There are meditation apps that work beautifully for me and I love them. And there's other meditation apps that I'm like, yeah, it's doing nothing for me. I was listening to a meditation last night and I had to change it because the guy's voice was really monotone and it was it sounded terrible. It was not the right frequency for me. So I don't want you to think that, there's only one way to do meditation and if it's not working for me, then, I'm the problem. No. I want you to play around with meditations, and YouTube is fantastic. All you have to do is type in meditation in YouTube and there's so much that pops up. Joe Dispenza's got so many meditations and I have different meditations pop up on my YouTube suggestions list every night. So it's trial and error to find the voice that you like the sound of and the frequency that you like the sound of. And for some of you, meditation's not for you, and that's okay. What I learned from 2020 is that it is okay to take a sledgehammer to the freaking box that people want to try and squeeze you into, that this is how life is meant to be lived. Take a sledgehammer to it and do things that work for you. If you love going to the gym, go to the gym. But if the gym is the worst place on the planet for you, do something else. If you hate the idea of running, but you can walk for hours on end, walk for hours on end. Don't waste your time with running. If you love to run, you can put some beats on or you can put a podcast on and you can just run. Run, do it. I want you to realize that the exercise, the movement that you love to do is your exercise. And make that what you do. whether it's Pilates or it's an insanity workout or it's bodybuilding training or it's powerlifting. Just do what makes you happy. Do things that make you move. If you're someone that loves house chores, that's exercise. Do house chores. I want you to break free of the conformity. I want you to break free of I have to live life like this. I have to follow this. I want you to, take inspiration from coaches, take inspiration from mentors. But there's some things that are going to come through and they just hit you and they land so beautifully and it's like, yes, yes. And then there's other things and it's like, oh my God, can you stop going on and actually give me something I can use? So when you have those moments, that's not for you. Universe doesn't want that to be a tool of your toolkit. So I want you to start being okay with not hearing everything in a message. I want you to start being okay with not hearing everything in a Facebook Live or not hearing everything in a workshop or not hearing everything in a presentation or not hearing everything in a seminar. Because there's certain things that are meant for you and there's certain things that are the tools of your toolkit. And then the other things, they're the tools for someone else's toolkit. And universe is just using whatever portal it can to reach everyone at the same time. So there's going to be some of my Facebook Lives that you're just like, Amy, what's happening tonight? You've lost your mojo. But then there'll be another Facebook Live I do and you're like, oh, Amy, don't stop talking. Don't stop talking. Just keep talking to me. Because what I'm saying in that live is just hitting you and hitting you and hitting you. And it's just boom, 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 boom. Everything's just landing for you. So I want you, if you're someone who does Facebook Lives or you do Zoom presentations, and you're worried that you don't have big numbers showing up, or one day you've got lots of numbers and another day you don't, I don't want you to stop doing what you're doing. I want you to trust and believe and receive that the people that were watching your Facebook Live, or the people that were at your Zoom presentation, or the people that did your program, heard exactly what they needed to hear at the right time that they needed to hear it. And what happens is someone will watch a Facebook Live and it didn't land well. And then maybe a few months later, universe will prompt that person to go back through your lives and they'll watch that live and it hits them because it is the right message at the right time with the right circumstances. So I don't want you to get deflated, or I don't want you to get defeated if you don't have hundreds of people showing up on your lives, or you don't have hundreds of people liking your posts or hundreds of people commenting on your posts. I want you to be happy to engage with the people that are responding to your posts and interacting with your posts, and just keep showing up. And that is why my word for this year is action, because I'm going to keep showing up. I'm going to keep showing up in my Instagram feed. I'm going to keep showing up in my Facebook feed. I'm going to keep showing up with my coaching programs. I'm going to keep showing up with my network marketing opportunities. I'm going to keep showing up at the markets and having a market stall, because that is my word for this year. Action, 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 action. So it might take you a few days to realize what word is your word for this year. And you might have to play around with a few words to really discover the word that is yours. So I really do hope that you got incredible value out of tonight's session. And I really do look forward to you messaging me with what you have decided your word is for this year. And even some things that you want to change, what habits you're going to turn into parts of your lifestyle, and what things you want to work on, what habits you want to break through, and what habits you want to develop. If you want to work with me one-on-one, you do have access to my 12-week coaching program, so feel free to message me for more information. I have created an ebook that is available. So if you're wanting to know more about the ebook, just message me and I'm happy to provide you with more information about my ebook. Now, as you know, I never pre-plan the next day's session. I really do allow universe to decide what you need to hear in each session. So I really look forward to the next time that we meet. For those of you in the Southern Hemisphere with me, have a beautiful evening as you wind down and get ready for bed. For those of you in the Northern Hemisphere, have a wonderful day and enjoy the rest of your lovely Wednesday. And I look forward to seeing you in our next session. As always, be safe, be well, much love.